Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube. What is going on, people? This is Influence. Today I have Kingdom, War for Cybertron, Galvatron. Actually found this at my Target, not my local Target, but Target near my sister's house. So I rode past there and I just seen it. I got lucky. So here's Galvatron. He's the almost normal gun mode. It's not quite, I don't know how I feel about the gun mode. I do have a lot of accessories on there, so we can talk about that. First, let's get into the box a little bit, just a little real quick. So you have the artwork as usual. Very nice artwork. There's always nice artwork on these boxes. Nice product shots. And of course, this is the same picture that was on Megatron. Beast Wars Megatron. So we can put that aside. I did get a card. I don't know what I did with the card. It's upstairs somewhere, I think. But you have the directions. Directions are pretty thick. There are a lot of steps, but it's not as hard as it seems. The directions make it seem. Directions are very thorough, though. I do appreciate that. Also, this is probably one of the most, well, I should say the best toleranced figures I've handled from the main line. Probably one of the best. Everything is tight, but not too tight. Everything is on point with connections. I think the worst connection I have is right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's this little tab goes into this little slot there. That's kind of hard to get into, but you can, and it's pretty, it connects fine. And then this doesn't do this if you had that connected. I kind of took it apart because it was tight once I did connect it. So maybe that's a tight spot. But yeah, you can see he has these, they're like little nemesis. Nemesis. I don't know, it might be already plural. I believe that's Galvatron's ship. Said it yesterday, I wasn't sure, but I know there are these two nemesis that you can put together, just peg on that side, peg on this side, go in here like this. And you get this little thing, which is kind of another weapon for Galvatron. I'll show that off. And here is, well, not the raw gun yet, because then you can put the matrix that's on the chain on here also. And we can look at this matrix real quick. It's pretty nice, nicely molded, nicely sculpted. Has a chain. The chain is fixed, so be careful with it because it does feel like it can break easily. I tried to pull this off. Maybe you can get off. Sometimes I'm a little soft-handed. Sometimes people say I'm heavy-handed in my videos at times, but sometimes I'm soft-handed because I don't want to rip anything apart. I quite like this figure. I can't say the gun mode is basically, it's a gun. It's a cannon, I should say. I don't know how I feel about this area, but it's not terrible. It's certainly better than a lot of figures, a lot of Galvatron figures that I've come across, except for Masterpiece. Other than that, this is probably the best Galvatron mainline figure, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like Generations, and I actually do have Open and Play, which I will compare them later because I think Open and Play is like a almost upscaled Generations figure, I believe. I don't know if if people ever discussed that it was a KO or not. I don't know. But yeah, it was quite upscaled. And this is wrong. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is wrong, but you can have it like this. You can have it like this in the directions, which is how I like it. I don't know why I had it like that. You put it here and you put this here. So then you have a little less length on the gun, which I guess this Canon is the only time you want a little less length. So let's go on to transformation. Well, let's just go through some of the perks. You have wheels right here that roll pretty well, and you have wheels back here. So this actually does roll, or acts like it does move. I don't know how well it rolls, but it's pretty good. It's not bad. The treads, you have the fake treads. Not real, of course. But they do look nice. They're painted silver in here. Got the purple paint. You got the little accents for the kneecaps. You have little red accents here. I love how the Canon's painted with this like scruffy paint here. And the orange see-through here kind of gives it a little bit more pizzazz, I guess. I don't think I ever said pizzazz in my life, but yeah, it does give it a little bit more oomph to it, just less plain. I seen people take this off somehow. I don't know if they sanded it. I'm not sure. It's just a battle damage, I guess. I don't really like that in robot mode, and we'll get into robot mode so we can get into the transformation. It comes in robot, so of course I'm doing it from this mode. I'm going to start putting chapters in my videos because I know I do tend to get lengthy in my videos, and some people like that, and that's cool for the people that like it, but some people just want to see the transformation or just want to see the robot. So I'm going to start putting chapters in because most of the time I'm going from vehicle to robot because a lot of the figures come in robot mode. And as you know, I like going, or maybe you don't know, but I like going from the opposite way that the vehicle comes, or like that the figure comes, I should say. I do that because a lot of people do it from the way it comes, and you already have directions for the way it comes. I understand for review purposes, but some people need transformation, so they like it. They like to see the transformation the other way. So first, we're going to start here. Just push this up here like that, and then like that. This becomes the feet and legs, but we'll get there. Trying to see which one is the easiest to do, or which should be the next step. Here, take this. It's tabbed in here and there. So you see those tabs. So you can just leave that like this. Then you can move this up. Basically, you're getting that out the way. You don't want to put these all the way up though, because you want to get this out like this, just to get it out the way, just to get it out of that area. Now this is kind of tight. It's in there, but you want to pull it out. So I think it goes this way. There we go. Pull that out. His head's in there. It's pegged in under here. You'll see it when you move this down. It's these two pegs, or these two holes, two peg holes, go into these two pegs. So now you got that. You can move this back in order to get all this situated. A lot of this is just like almost prep work, but then you want to, this is the first time it came off, this thing, but it's the skirt, and I could see it coming off, but you don't have to move it that much. That's probably the worst tolerance thing I found on this figure. So take that for what it is. Then this cylinder here, it's like this thing. You want to move it back. And there's a peg right there that fits into there. But before that, you want to get this head out of here. It's on like a, you see that flip around thing, that flip around. Then you can move this to peg this in there. And so you know you have it right. Once you flip that around, then you peg this down here, push that down. It's all right. Then you want to get this. It's there, peg. Push that. There we go. Then you can put this back up into the back like that. It's like on a double hinge here. So to go and fit in really well. Now these are the arms. Peg there, hold there. Move that up. Same over here. Move that up. And then move this down. And then you hear that snap. Peg this down as well. Hear that snap. Now you have these. Now these are the side skirts. So you just move them around. Put them down into the side skirt area. Then you get the legs. Pull the legs out. It's just 2 pegs or a couple pegs in the peg holes. Move the legs to the front. Move them to the front. Then you got this right here. This is pegged in there. Pull that out. You see where that's pegged in. And then you can just flip it around. It's a peg there. So it stays on the back. Do it again over here. Flip that around. Pegs in on the back. So it stays in and holds it pretty well. This moves so you can get it wherever you want it. I like it like that. Then you have these arms. Just move this down. This does not peg anywhere, but it's well tolerant, so it doesn't move when it's in gun mode, really. But you could do that. You pull this down. There's a peg hole there. Flip out the fist. You see that right there? It goes up. And then this can peg into that hole back there. So it stays. You have one arm done. Again over here. Pull this down out that peg hole. Flip his fist out. Move this up like that. Put that in here. Now while you're maneuvering that, sometimes this peg does come out. But I promise you, it's really well tolerant. Once you get it in there, it's just, you're maneuvering it all over the place. Then this piece, you maneuver it up like on a double hinge. So it's just sticking up. You put it down and there you have Galvatron in robot mode. Then you can bring his cannon. He has 5mm pegs. One up here, one down here. So you can actually put it on his forearm if you want to. And it's actually on his forearm and can go with his elbow. Or you can put it up here. I kind of like it up here because it's, I don't know. I just like the way it looks up here. It like takes up the whole arm. So then you can do one of these numbers. Then he's here with it. See some of his accessories. You can put the matrix around his neck. Goes like I said, it's rigid. So it goes around his neck like that. It can actually, can it fit in here like this? It can, but it looks kind of weird. I like it better when it's not plugged in and it's just resting, even though it's just rigid. And you can also, he can hold these in his hands. I think he can hold them in his hands. Should be able to. He just pegs. Yeah, he can hold these in his hands. He can peg them on to the side of his arm, kind of. So you can have that type of, this type of motion. As per usual, you can use the blast effects, which I really like. Oh, I forgot one thing. That's why he won't stand up. Flip out his heel spurs, which are under here. Now he should stand pretty well. Now you can get him, yeah. So he definitely So he definitely needs heel spurs. And there's the blast effects. I do like the way the blast effects are. Like I said, this figure is super well toleranced. I think it's a a great figure. Here's his face. His face is a little off to me. The actual figure is a little off looking, but it's not as bad as when I saw it in pictures. I really was like, nope, nope, nope. But you can see his face. He has red eyes with the black outline. They look pretty good. It's well painted. Has the silver paint. It's a hefty feeling figure. I know it doesn't have die cast besides for the screws or whatever, but it's very hefty feeling. Feels feels well put together. Feels well toleranced. All of these. Now the shoulders. I know there's been a lot of talk with the shoulders, so I'll take that out. And the shoulders are low. I do like the other configuration that has been circulating. So for that, I did a little video on it. You just move the shoulders up, move them down, and spin this around. So now the shoulders are higher, but you do have that pinhole. People have been 3D printing pins. I've seen some people. I said people, like everybody's been doing it. I seen someone 3D print a peg to put in there so it's flat. It doesn't really bother. The hole doesn't really bother me because he has other holes. It doesn't bother me that much. And I do like that and you can move this up a little. I do like that his shoulder's higher. But to me, this is a design. It's not, I've seen people say that it's assembled wrong. I think they're projecting because I think this is how they designed it to be like this. I don't think they wanted it to be like this. I think they designed it to be like this because if you have this peg on the back here, like it is over here, this doesn't fit into that peg. It fits into that hole to keep it up. And also, you know, it's just flopping around back here. But anyhow, I do like, I'm going to put it back because reasons why. But yeah, I don't think that's, I don't think it's assembled wrong. I think this is how it was designed and how it's supposed to be. Now, I know some packages have it the other way, like this, where they just twisted, the arms just twisted around. Like I said, it's not assembled wrong because it doesn't make sense. All the promotionals have it like this, and it's like this. But anyway, let's get into articulation. You got the head. I believe it's on a ball joint, so you go down about that much, up about that much, not a lot, back and forth, and of course you go all the way around. These things can move out or in or up. You can have them up like this if you like that look. If you're more accustomed to that, I like them angled out a little. I think that's how I always remembered him. I'm not sure. This moves down and back, and you can even move it down here like this if you want it out the way of his head. You can also, you can put these on, but I'll show that in a minute. You move his arms. I already showed his arms and his shoulders. His shoulders go all the way up like this, so you can get out and all the way up. He has a double jointed elbow that gets you all the way. His hands spin around and it's fixed like this to hold a gun. He does have some hollow, and he has a bicep swivel, of course. That's how you get that arm turned around. He does have some hollowness right here, but this doesn't really bother me that much. I just got to mention it because it's hollow. He has a waist swivel. Is limited, I should say, but it's still there. I don't know if you can get this. Nah, you can't really get this out the way. Just got to deal with that. His side skirts get up, so he does get the splits. and it's very well tolerant. It's not too tight, but it's not too loose, so it's not failing. There, this skirt comes up for no reason at all, because you don't have to move it to get his feet this way. Now the backpack does hinder his hurdle in a little bit, and he would probably hit a hurdle in the back foot, but I can live with that. He has this swivel right here built in. He has a knee that gets you about 90 degrees. I like the way they did the knee cover. And just that. His heel spurs go down and not really up. His feet don't go up. They do have a pretty big rocker that you can actually get a little more. If you undo this, you get like a crazy rocker just due to transformation. But I don't think you need it. You just can get it if you need it, if you want it. You know, maybe you got some crazy pose, but you can't get a rocker about to that. Also, so back here you have these two pegs. These holes right here, you can stick it in either one. If it so you just throw this. Had a juvenile moment for a minute. So just throw that in there, put that in here, and then you have that look if you like that look. Sorry, I like my Galvatron, just plain old Galvatron with what's going on. So I got some Earthrise figures we can compare them to. So we got Springer and we got Hot Rod, which is a studio series, not Earthrise. So you can see how they compare to him. He does look a little stumpy to me, even in hand. I know in pictures he looked a little short. He looked a little weird, and I'm not sure if it's just the arm or what. So let me move the arms and see what that looks like. Now, with the arms move, it does look a lot better to me. And like I said, these holes don't really bother me. It kind of goes, I don't know, it kind of goes with his hands and everything else. He is standing kind of weird. Let me kind of stand him up more. I had him in like some type, not pose, but like some type of standing. So yeah, he does look a little more menacing there, a little bigger. He still looks a little stumpy to me. So now I'm going to compare him to Open and Play Galvatron. Now this is what I think is Generations kind of masterpiece. It's not the greatest figure, but I kind of do like how he looks. And it's like a I guess Generations knockoff kind of, with some extra add-ons. But yeah, he that's how he compares with him. I think this looks much better, but actually this figure feels probably the same weight as this figure. So that's telling. In the end, if you're in for this line, I think this is a great Galvatron for the line. I always say it's not perfect, but I mean, there's really no perfect figure. There's some that gets super close in MP, but still, I think it's probably, as far as aesthetically, it's going to be a mixed bag. It's going to depend on you. It's very subjective aesthetically, if you like it or not. As far as a figure, objectively, it's great because well toleranced, well posable figure that looks the part. You know, it looks enough for the part to not even get away with. I mean, it looks like Galvatron. It looks like the figure you want it to look like. I mean, there's a few aesthetic choices that I don't like the feet. I'm not particularly keen on his feet. However, I think it's a great Great mainline figure, and probably one of the best mainline figures I've handled, besides some of the studio series. Now, you know, Hot Rod and maybe Grimlock is one of the best studio series figures, but that's supposed to be in a different class anyway. So if you enjoyed this video, do what you need to do on the YouTubes, as I always say, and I will get up with you guys in another video. Peace.
Ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.